Dave Burdick has been Guam's Marine Monitoring Program Coordinator since 2007. He has helped build it to a point where data collection and interpretation are standardized.
It wasn't until 2010 that we really established the Tumon site. That was our first site. And so we're collecting a variety of different data sets at that site. So we're trying to address looking at the health of the reef as comprehensively as we can. So looking at everything from reef fish to the coral communities, other types of benthic organisms, as well as macroinvertebrates, particularly those that are ecologically and commercially important, like the sea cucumbers or volati, urchins, trochus, other types of important macroinvertebrates. We're also eventually going to be implementing water quality monitoring. So that's a very important, water quality has a pretty important influence on the health of a reef. So if you have poor water quality, you may have a poor reef health condition.
The PD monitoring site is interesting. Not only does the island's largest power plant operate at its shore, the area itself is the endpoint for a massive watershed known as Maso. Worse, between the ridge and the sea is a highway, which seriously impacts soil loss and, of course, turbidity.
There's a lot of influence of a major river, the Maso River, and anytime it rains, you're going to see a lot of really dirty water coming out of that river and out onto the reef. And so we eventually want to understand how that poor water quality influences the health of the reef and maybe explain some of the differences we've observed, at least qualitatively, and see if the actual data supports our observations. But I think in general, it's clear that that reef has been through a lot in the last few decades. It's known as a site where the crown of thorns have devastated it at least once, possibly on more than one occasion. And then also this kind of continual poor water quality.
Sure.
So there's not as much coral as one would expect. We are seeing kind of these hot spots of fish diversity and abundance. So that's good to see.
And do you think that's because it's an MPA?
Yes, probably.
MPA, more formally known as Marine Protected Area. In the south, Christine, Jeff, and I continue down the Lasafua River, taking samples to measure the water's turbidity. As we approach the bay, the water becomes cloudy and green from algae growth. I keep an eye out for the nitrate snail Jeff showed me upstream, but I find none. Earlier, Christina had cautioned us about the possibility of flash flooding in the river. She was right. Here, debris indicates a recently high and violent surge.
Footage, all that algae growing on top of that.
Yeah.
So the balance has definitely become unbalanced.
Indeed, there is a question of balance in Lasafua. Here, a vehicle's burned-out corpse blocks access to the sea as we approach it. And it is in Lasafua Bay where we are able to see exactly how sedimentation from accelerated erosion high up on the ridge succeeds in changing life in the reef. Coming up, our episode and our season concludes. The story continues at www.micronesiachallenge.org, where you can learn more about the people you just met, as well as the efforts of preserving the thousands of species of fish, plants, and wildlife in Micronesia. There are downloadable teaching modules for schools, as well as an online video storytelling academy by Dan Ho. And of course, we look forward to your support of the Micronesia Challenge. Thank you.